We've stopped water vapor from sneaking out through the wall. Now we deal with the rougher version of the problem: rain hitting the outside of the building by the bucketful. The old instinct is to make the outer skin perfectly watertight and trust it to keep every drop out. So, the smarter approach assumes that's impossible. Wind driven rain will find its way past a brick face eventually. So instead of betting everything on a perfect seal, you plan for a little water to get in and you give it a clean way back out. That's the rain screen. Behind the brick veneer, you leave a cavity, a deliberate air gap between the brick and the backup wall behind it. Any rain that works through the brick runs down the back of it into that cavity and drains away down and out, sort of, rather than crossing into the building. And the cavity does a second thing. When the weather warms up, air rises through that gap and ventilates it, drying out whatever moisture is left. Drain, then dry. That's the whole principle. Now, for the draining to work, the water needs an exit, and that's what weep holes are: small openings at the bottom of the cavity that let the water escape to the outside. They're not optional. If they get blocked, water backs up and pools in the cavity, and standing water always finds somewhere to go. Usually that somewhere is inward, through the assembly, into the space you are protecting. So you keep the cavity clear and the weep holes open, for rainwater and for condensation alike. Now, to detail any of this well, you have to know how water actually moves, because it has a few different tricks, and each one needs a different answer. First, surface tension. Water can cling to the underside of a surface and creep along it, even turn a corner and travel sideways, or a little way uphill. You beat it with a drip edge, a small notch or groove cut into the underside, so the water can't keep clinging. Look, it reaches the break, loses its grip, and drops off where you want it to. Second, momentum. Driving rain gets flung at the wall by the wind, and that push can carry it straight into an opening. You beat momentum with a step or a baffle, so the water can't travel in a straight line into the cavity. It has to change direction, and it can't. Third, capillary action. Water wicks through a very narrow gap on its own, a combination of pressure and tension, pulling it through the tightest spaces. You beat it by not leaving those tight gaps, or by widening the path so the wicking loses its grip. And fourth, the big one, gravity. Water runs downhill. Okay, so that's mostly helpful. You use it to lead water away, but it can bite you. Never detail a path where a drop running downhill ends up on the inside of your protective layer. Lead it down and out, never down and in. That brings us to a question the exam genuinely likes to ask. You're shown a brick wall and the mortar joints between the bricks, and those joints can be tooled different ways: straight across, angled, concave. Which one is best at shedding water? Think back to gravity and surface tension. You don't want a joint shaped to catch water and feed it inward. You want one that lets water run off and out. So the profile that drains is the right answer every time. So the rain screen is really a mindset, right? Don't pretend the wall is perfect. Let a little water in, then drain it and dry it. Keep the weep holes open and detail every edge so surface tension, momentum, capillary action, and gravity all end up pushing water out instead of in. Next time, we go hunting for the spots where all this quietly fails. The everyday leak points, the difference between a slow leak and a fast one, and what we really mean when we talk about a material's durability.